Hello, welcome to This Is For Me. As always, I'm your host, Trisha, and this is for several things, actually. Number one, I'm going to say this is for boundaries in 2023. I think I touched on this a little bit last week, and I've touched on it in general that, like, we need boundaries for people. Um, your time for you needs to be a priority, but more and more, especially as I'm in this property management role, I am really finding that I need to assert and have very clear boundaries with people when it comes to my time. And I think this is because, if you're a property manager, people think if you're home, what's the big deal? Meaning, what's the big deal if I need to come to your house to sign a contract whenever, like sign a lease whenever? What's the big deal if there's workmen coming in and out? Like, you're home. Well, the big deal is that I can't be present with myself because I'm expecting, right? You're expecting other people. You don't behave the same when someone is over or about to come over. And especially for me on a day off, like yesterday, I indulged in 4 hours of yoga, like super long, felt so good. I tried even just like starting a yoga session the other week with plumbers in and out. I can't do it. I can't do it because even if they're just going in and out of my apartment back and forth, and I'm fully dressed, like I'm not in, little booty shorts and a sports bra like I would if I'm alone. Like I'm wearing sweatpants, but still a woman just can't do yoga in her living room with random men coming in and out. Like I wish it wasn't that way, but it is that way. So I have found I need to be very clear about what time are people coming over. And when they choose the time, I let them know, okay, I will be available until this time. And that gives them a cutoff. That means that we're not lingering, we're not chitty chatting. Or if you say you're going to come and sign a lease at a certain time, and then all of a sudden you go, well, maybe it'll be 45 minutes later. No, maybe I'll be eating dinner in 45 minutes. So either you show up at the time you chose or you don't. And I don't think it should be too much to ask, but I'm sure on these people's end, they think you're home. What's the big deal? But I'm just going to say, like, treat me like a dentist, You show up to your dentist on time. You don't really linger and hang out afterwards. And you certainly don't say, oh, I know I made a 3 o'clock appointment. I might be there at 3:30. No. Nope. Not happening. So I would encourage everyone to do this, though, even if you're not a property manager, just with anything in your life, even if it's not work, if it's a friend, a neighbor, someone asking for a favor, give them a window. Give them a window and then there's a closing. It's not like an open invitation. Also, on the self care note, guys, I took a snow day. Now, by 10:30, were the roads fine where I live? Yes. But did I regret it? No. I have not taken a snow day, a sick day, a self-care day in so long. And I always feel guilty too, even if I'm feeling kind of crappy. I have left early, I think once during the Christmas season because I felt almost sick, being surrounded by sick people. But people I work with, I mean, they take days off left and right for not feeling good. And I don't begrudge them. But for some reason, I'll feel guilty, like people are going to be mad at me. And it was so good for my mental health. And then because of that, yesterday, it was just a full day off. Like it wasn't the obligatory cleaning, um, just doing, getting stuff ready for work. Like all that was done. And I could just be present. It was amazing. So I'm just going to say once in a while, guys, if you have sick time, just take it, or vacation time, whatever it is. Just take a day, an unplanned day. Oh my God. The next day I came into work and I was like, I don't feel tired. I don't feel burnt out. I have a good attitude. How amazing. Imagine being rested and refreshed. What a novel idea. And I realize that that's a luxury a lot of people don't have, but that's going to take me to another point, which is how do you all do it? And by it, I mean, how do you all have people in your lives that you live with that depend on you day in and day out? And I don't even mean that they financially depend on you. That's really hard. That's something, I do not have the financial ability to support anyone. I can just support myself in this economy or in any economy. But thinking about my self-care day and my weekend, and I'm just like, if I lived with people, and I did most of my life, I lived at home, I lived with my parents, then I lived with boyfriends, it's not the same. Knowing someone is home is not the same, even if they're not like making you do chores or anything. Just like having another energy in your space is not the same. And now, once in a while, I would love the idea of someone else like being in my space. If it's someone I love, I'm like, oh, this would be more fun with them here. This would be nice. But not all the time. I don't want that to be the default. Maybe my feelings will change one day. Maybe if it was a scenario where we mapped out ahead of time very clear boundaries. I think that's important. And a lot of people do not do that before they live together. Guys, I'm just thinking of this now. Like, before you move in with a partner, a friend, a roommate, I think you need to map out, like, what are our boundaries as far as, like, even, this is going to sound so trivial, but like chit chat. Do you know, I would have to take longer to get ready for work when I've lived with people because I have to factor in, like, the pleasantries of chit chat in the morning. It slows you down. You can't just like go from like smoothie to workout to coffee prep to tying your shoes and leave it. Like, you gotta talk to the person. It slows you down. So I would be like, what are your expectations? Are you gonna get mad at me if I don't engage in chit chat before work? Are you gonna get mad at me if I don't want to engage in chit chat right when I get home? Are you going to be mad if I use a blender in the morning at a certain time? So many things that you don't think of. Do you need to use the bathroom for an extended amount of time in the morning? And how many bathrooms do you have? Because that's a pretty important part of negotiation for day to day. People with kids, my mom had 5 of them. I don't know how we all got through it. I really don't. So yeah, this is just all the respect in the world to people dealing with other people, let alone incompetent partners. And yes, I am speaking of men. I'm sorry. I love men. I unfortunately am straight. I totally see a lot of lesbian TikToks talking about the advantages of having a female partner, and it does not take much convincing, guys. I get it. I see it, and I'm jealous. I'm jealous of a lot of it. Just having a partner who is highly intelligent, right? Because that's part of what attracted you to them. Highly capable. A partner who has actually lived on their own, but then when they live with you, all of a sudden, it's like, where did they ever get clean laundry? Because they seem to have forgotten how to do it. How was their bed made when you first walked into their bedroom and hadn't slept with them yet? And now they don't know how to make a bed That's strange. That's a very strange phenomenon. I I don't know, guys. I don't know. I love love. I love romance, but this cohabitating thing, I don't know. It's for me. It's really for the rich because you need a house big enough, I think, to have designated sections. I think, and then just certain common areas in order for it to be harmonious. Like, you know how they have his and hers sinks in a lot of bathrooms? I think we need to have his and hers kitchen sinks as well because I have a feeling, again, call me sexist, call me biased. I'm not going to be offended. You can call me anything. I'm going to say I think a lot of his sinks would have crusty dishes and the hers sinks would be open and available for any of your pasta draining needs, any of your food prep needs. Okay? Now, okay, another topic. It was just the Lunar New Year. And I read a few traditions. And it's funny because I instinctively was already doing some of these. So there were certain dates in January that you were supposed to purge and clean your house so that you start anew. And I had already done this. I think this is just kind of a folklore thing too, but it's all about like you can't bring in more abundance if you have things that are holding you back and, stagnant energy, things that aren't serving you, etc. So I already had done that. And then, oh, there was the same thing in Lunar New Year as regular New Year in folklore, which was not to wash your hair because you wash away your luck. Don't wash your hair on the first day of the new year. So, okay. I mean, check. Not that hard for me, but okay. The wearing red did it. It's supposed to be good luck. I'll let you guys know how that went. We'll see. Remains to be seen. What else was there? Oh, eating fish. I did that. What I did not do was one of the things said to always leave something left on your plate because of the idea of like, may you always have more than you need, which I appreciate. But also, I am a single woman who cooks for herself, and I just always make as much as I want to eat, and that's it. Also don't get the whole narrative when people go, "Oh, it's so hard to cook because it's just for me." Been doing it most of my life because I ate different than my family. And even when I've cohabitated with people, like I am not cooking dinner for us every night. I am cooking dinner for us on the weekend when I'm relaxed, when it's an event, when it's fun. I am not like day to day here to be your mommy and make you a lunch and make you dinner. No, no, no. That's not for me. So, anyway, I make what I know I'm going to eat and I eat it all. So, I did not follow that, but, whoopsie. I also didn't follow the dumplings thing. There was an interesting thing about dumplings, and it's supposed to mimic the silver bundles. So, again, another thing of abundance, but, the gluten, guys, I couldn't do it. So, I thought about it. I don't know. I had it in my head. I don't know if that counts for anything. But anyways, happy belated Lunar New Year to anyone that celebrated. Okay. Now I want to talk about Miley Cyrus's new single Flowers. I want to say first, when I saw the music video, it came up on my YouTube because, they show you things they think you'd like. And I like Miley Cyrus. I'm not like a huge fan, like have all her albums, but I do really like Miley Cyrus. So I'm like, oh, let me watch this video. And I think it's important for you to know that I watched it with a pure, it was a pure experience for me, meaning I just saw the video and go, oh my God, I'm going to watch this. I didn't read all the little articles about like the symbolism of like this gold dress was like the dress that Jennifer Lawrence wore on the Hunger Games premiere after she found out that like Liam and her kissed and Miley and her were together and this and that. No, I just watched the music video, just blank, okay, blank space in my head. And I was trying to tell one of my friends, I was like, oh my God, never related to a music video more. And she was like, well, no, but you're happy. Like, you're seeing someone and you're happy. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that has nothing to do with me, like, relating to this music video. And I didn't get a chance because we were at work to, like, explain this. But I just mean, like, in the music video. So Miley she's like working out in her underwear, like doing full on like real deal workouts in her underwear, just like looking hot and in her home, and then like just like luxuriating in the sun, feeling herself. Guys, I do this. Like because I live alone, oftentimes I will start off clothed and then end up I am working out in my underwear. And when you do that and you catch yourself in the mirror, this is actually great for body dysmorphia. I find it's like when I'm working out, you have like your workout pump, right? So you're like your veins are coming out, your muscles are extra toned, you have like a glow. It really helps. I'm like, I feel strong. Feeling strong makes me feel hot. And then like you're in your underwear doing all these things that require like agility. And I'm like, I totally get in like my feeling myself mode where I'm like, oh my God, how dare I ever hate my body? Because again, body dysmorphia happens all the time. One minute I feel hot, the next minute I'm like, you're gross. Oh my God. But yeah. Anyway, in this video, totally related to that, totally related to like dancing around in your own home and it's just like dancing in a crazy way that you like she looks great always, and Miley can really dance, but just like really going like out there just alone. I totally do this, guys. So I just loved it. I loved the video and I really felt like I wish I was cut from the same exact cloth as Miley. Clearly I'm not, like we're not all worthy. We're not all there. We might not be cut from the same cloth, but we might share a few of the same threads. And I'll take it. I'll take it. Uh, it is such an anthem for single women. And I know I'm not divorced and I'm not like in a bitter state of mind, but never have I just like been happier than when you realize like, yeah, you can buy yourself flowers, right? If you want sushi, like treat yourself to sushi. You don't have to wait. Like I literally was that pathetic that I would be like, well, I want sushi, but I'll just wait till, my old ex like wanted to get it. Because what if I get like it was so dumb, or I'd want it and then he'd go, oh, well, I just had it. So can we get something else? Why wouldn't I just buy myself sushi, guys? She's grown. She's grown. She's moved on. She's done. I don't need to wait for anyone to buy me a massage gift certificate. I actually haven't done this yet, but like, I think I want a massage soon. So I think I'm going to buy myself a massage. I have done this and it's been a while since I've done it. I need to do it again. Although I will say this, I got it like it was like a little post COVID, but not totally. And the masseuse, she wore gloves. Number one, I say she, and I generally don't like female masseuses because they're not strong enough for me. And she was okay. Obviously, I tipped her well because it's a hard job. But I do prefer a male masseuse because I'm small, right? But I'm dense. I have these like really hard muscles from like stretching and doing yoga. Like they're like wiry and like you really got to get in there. So anyway, I do prefer a male. So I think when I book one, I'm just not going to book if a male's not available. And then she wore gloves because of COVID, which is like so dumb. Like if anything, wear a mask. She didn't wear a mask, but she wore gloves. Like you're going to get COVID through your hands. And sometimes they would like bunch up even though she used oil and like pinch my skin. So that I don't recommend. Yeah, that was not great. And probably no one else spoke up because I didn't speak up either. And I'm like a smooth person. I don't have hair, I don't have stubble, but like I can't imagine if it was someone that had any body hairs either. Those gloves would have just like pinched the hairs. Ugh. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but that's what this whole podcast is. Just, I love the sentiment. I feel like it's very woman empowering of, yeah, you can buy yourself flowers. I talk to myself, like, I don't always talk to myself out loud, but in my head. And then when the line of like about things you don't understand, I feel like a lot of stuff I'm into is pretty female centric, especially like standard. I'm going to say it's pretty standard woman in your 30s, especially single woman in your 30s, like getting into like manifestation and like astrology and crystals. And guys aren't going to understand that. They're not going to be into it, and that's fine. I just think about it kind of like religion, like believe in what you want to believe in. But I do think you should believe in something. That's like an AA thing too when they say higher power, and some people get turned off from AA because they go, I don't believe in God, I'm not religious. And they say it doesn't have to be God. You just have to believe that there's something greater than yourself. That's how I feel about it. But anyway, related to that line too, about like talking to yourself for hours about things you won't understand. I don't need you to understand. I don't need you to like back me on things. Like, I'm good and I see like confirmations of things. And if you think that's like me seeing what I want to see, cool. That's cool. Again, you won't understand it. You don't need to understand it. Uh, anyway, just it made me go back and listen to more Miley Cyrus and download more of her music. Like I love her. I love her growth. I will always love her being candid about who she is, and I definitely do not think she's a people pleaser, and we love that about her. Okay. Can't get enough of it. All right. Now, the the thing I did not expect to talk about, but oh my god, it is not a Netflix recommend. It is an Amazon Prime recommend. And I started it last week, and I had to watch it in sections because I watch things before bed, and your girl is an old lady and falls asleep by 9. Guys, the Backstreet Boys documentary. I watched it as like this is a funny haha, like maybe I'm smoking a little something and getting a little giggly, and then I'm just gonna like watch this before bed. It was so entertaining, especially I'm 38, like if you're in a certain age range. I was at the Backstreet Boys concert. Like, I had this friend who was obsessed with Fly 92, and her whole family was. And that was like the local pop station in upstate New York, okay? And she won like every radio contest. And I was in like second row at Backstreet Boys, fourth row at NSYNC. I ended up at another time like ninth row at Britney Spears, but that was actually on my own accord. It was just like dumb luck of buying tickets. I don't need to get into it. Anyway, just saying. Watching this Backstreet Boys documentary, first of all, I know we've all heard, a lot of us have heard about Lou Pearlman and how he swindled them out of a lot of money. But just learning like how young they were when they first formed and seeing them now, which they look great. They do. They look great. I will say Brian looks exactly the same. And then Nick, I think, actually looks a little bit better than certain times because, he was like the cute one, like the front man. And then he got really into drinking and drugs, I think, and he got like bloated. And then now he's sober and has a family. And so now he actually looks great. He looks great. Howie, amazing. I think it's that little Latin blood in him. He's glowing. He's thriving. He doesn't talk a lot in the documentary, but he's great. He's fantastic. AJ, you know, he he's AJ. He's has had his battles with addiction, and maybe he's a little bit bloated, but we all age. We're not all going to stay the same. Kevin is pure daddy energy. He's always been daddy energy, and he still remains daddy energy. Looks great though. But oh my god, the guys in this documentary, like at one point they're yelling at each other. They're yelling at like this meeting when they're doing like a comeback tour, and Brian's having voice issues, and him and Nick were always kind of battling it out for lead vocals, and Brian's like, "Well, just you're just mad cuz I can't do your job for you anymore." And then it goes back and it shows this clip of them as the Backstreet Boys, like young version, singing the national anthem at this hockey game. And they show this like clip, like they go back and forth between a lot of clips, okay? And they're showing this during this argument to show like this tension between them has been like building for years, of this kind of battle of who's got the lead vocals. And you see this while they're singing the national anthem. Like, they're all singing, but Nick and Brian, throughout like each freaking word, are trying to basically out Christina Aguilera each other. Like, they're putting that extra sauce on like every fucking syllable, and it is like a battle. And then you see Kevin, even though they're singing, right? He can't like stop and step in and be like, "Whoa, guys, like you're both doing the most." But you see him kind of step forward, and like his low tone of like singing all of a sudden becomes forward. And I think it's like him trying to make his presence known, of like, see what you're doing, like we're performing. But oh my god, if you were ever a Backstreet Boys fan, and obviously now I listen to all different kinds of music. Clearly it's not Backstreet Boys. It's a lot of, alty, rock, folk. Everyone listens to Beyonce, Meg the Stallion, Doja Cat, now Miley. But yeah, it's just, I listen to a lot, but it's not Backstreet Boys, okay? But this documentary it's just fun. It's nostalgic. It really brings you back. And it's just, you see them in Lou Pearlman's house, and he's in jail now, I guess. Like he had went to Costa Rica before they went to arrest him because he owed like, I forget how many millions of dollars. It is good. Maybe you all are like, okay, whatever, Trisha, but like, no. Watch it with someone else who can appreciate it, and maybe get a little giggly, however you do that, however you get into that mind state. But it's a sleeper. It's a sleeper hit, guys. Like, I definitely recommend it. Oh, I also watched The Hatchet Wielding Hitchhiker on Netflix. I was not aware of that viral video or that case, but interesting. Sad, strange, interesting. But that is like one of the top, it's in like the top 10 on Netflix this week. I'm going to say go over to Amazon Prime and watch the Backstreet Boys doc. It's really, people need to know. Okay. It's snowing. I need to shovel out my car so I can go to work tomorrow. I need to mail some packages. And yeah, I just need to have the rest of my day. I hope you guys like this. Again, I know I'm all over the place, but this is for me. So I hope that some part of it was for you.